Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEDGamesAU.
this is Z Games, and I'm Maylee.
And I'm Easy.
And I'm Toby.
It is another exciting night of games in the studio today.
Woot woot!
Yeah, that's right. And it's Maylee's first time in the hot seat.
Yep.
They've given me the keys to the ship.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got all the power. I'm just with my hands behind my head, chilling out.
Mm-hmm.
Now I decide what games are played.
I didn't realize you got too much power now. What's happening on today's episode, Maylee?
Trash.
Accurate and funny.
No,
Love it.
we're talking about, later on tonight, we will be talking about games that we've played and games that we love, but that, for one reason or another, have been kind of trash.
Yeah. Yep, I played a few of those.
We also have a review from Zahra, who is not here in the studio tonight, of the game Trashed. Is it Trashed?
I'm pretty sure it's past tense trash.
Past tense
Yeah.
Trashed.
I'm not sure what context the trashed is, whether it's like a drunken trashed or if it's like a, took the trash out kind of trash. I don't have no
I
idea.
guess you'll have to find out.
Yeah, you
Or is
will.
the world trashed?
Yeah.
The world's trashed.
Yeah. Well, we've already done that. But
Yeah, it is.
On a lighter note.
On a lighter note.
But, as always, we have the news up first. I feel like we should get into that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I can soothe my nerves.
Yeah. Give yourself
Paul's
I was going to talk about
voice.
the jingle and just thinking you holding the jingle of keys. Just the whole studio just rattling with the keys.
You reminded me of I just installed TikTok, so I'm just gonna have to mention this now. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like this one TikTok of where I think you've got to look and act confident, but by the end of the TikTok, you're actually got to show a sign that you're really actually freakishly nervous. And there was this one dude, a transgender guy who was like the first time you hang out with a group of other cisgendered men and they don't know, and he's just like smiling all confident, and then as he brings the beer to his face, the bottle's like shaking away in his hand. And that's Maylee tonight. It's like, I'm fine, I'm totally fine. And then
totally
as
fine.
you fade up the faders, you're like, ooh.
No cups of tea.
No
Cups of tea. Definitely not in the studio.
Not in
anyway.
the studio.
All right. News time.
News time.
Let's do it.
This week in gaming news, April the 1st happens again. April Fool's Day came and went again this year, leaving hilarity in its wake. Video games were no exception, of course, and as always, there was a great number of jokes, pranks, and curiosities to find on the day. Some of the highlights included a PlayStation 1 remake of Remedy Entertainment's Control, a version of Bug Snacks without the bug aspect, simply called Snacks, and a new breakfast cereal based on the upcoming Deathloop, simply called Deathloops. Yum! Some developers even go the extra step though, and follow through on their jokes, such as Platinum Games, who this year announced that they have made last year's prank into a full game. The arcade shmup, Soul Cresta, will be released on Switch, PC and PS4 later this year, and will form part of their new Neo Classics arcade series, classic-style games with modern technology. Check out the Z Games Facebook page for a roundup with more of this year's festivities. Component shortage continues. If you've been finding it hard to locate a new next-gen console, phone, or other electronic device, don't expect your chances to improve anytime soon. According to Young Liu, chairman of Foxconn, the world's biggest contract electronics manufacturer, they have had to reduce their shipments due to the ongoing worldwide shortage of silicon chips, and the situation is not likely to ease until at least the second quarter of 2022. Chip shortage began with shutdowns due to the COVID-19 pandemic and was further exacerbated by severe storms in Texas. Loot boxes are gambling. According to a report by researchers at the universities of Plymouth and Wolverhampton, loot boxes are structurally and psychologically akin to gambling. The mechanic, wherein a player opens blind boxes for a random reward, has been a hot topic of debate for several years, and governments have begun stepping in to regulate where they see the industry failing to do so themselves. With loot boxes, emerging evidence suggests that certain categories of people may be at particular risk of associated harms. Secondary analysis of open access survey data has established that high spenders on loot boxes are overrepresented by those with problem gambling behaviours. Unwittingly or not, developers appear to be profiting from at-risk individuals. Microsoft successfully freezes hell over. Earlier this year, it was announced that popular Sony-developed baseball game MLB The Show 21 would also be coming to Xbox platforms for the first time with this year's release of the franchise. In a surprising update this week, it was clarified that not only would the Sony-developed game be releasing on the same date as the PlayStation counterpart on April 20th, but it would be available to Xbox's Game Pass subscribers at no additional cost. This situation is a result of Sony's new contract for the MLB license, which stipulates any game must be multi-platform. While the PlayStation Studios name will still appear on the game, the Xbox version at least will be published by MLB and not Sony themselves. This week on the Z Games release calendar. On Thursday, April 8th, you can get Scarlet Hood and the Wicked Wood on PC and Mac, Before Your Eyes on PC, Cozy Grove on all platforms, and the Switch release of Always Sometimes Monsters. On Friday, April 9th, you can get the Switch port of Lux Slinger. That's all this week in gaming news.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks.
I do have to say that gambling, loot boxes are gambling.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, personally, for me, I've pretty much thought that was the case for a long
I thought
time.
that was established.
Yeah, I thought that was
didn't
established.
know that was a new thing.
Yeah, it's gambling.
I mean, look, I'm not going to wave my piece of paper around or anything that I studied game design, but I am now. Because
I haven't got paper to make the sound effects.
Not that it's industry standard that everyone just goes, yeah, loot boxes are gambling. A lot of people disagree, and there's a lot of different opinions on how they operate and la la la.
Mm-hmm.
But from my personal experience with gaming mechanics, with air quotes around mechanics, and social media mechanics, and then gambling mechanics, they're all very similar.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is now becoming something that is considered a legitimate psychological thing that loot boxes are playing on, or basically taking advantage of people who are at risk as well, people more susceptible to addictive behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no doubt. And of course the government are stepping in now, because as if a giant developer is going to be like, oh, we better sort out our gambling problems.
We're getting too much money from people.
Yeah.
Oh, we should stop this.
Yeah, how horrible.
I love how Paul says that the industry calls them surprise mechanics.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You have no money.
Here's some, for your money, here's some electronic device. Electronic piece of nothing.
Yeah,
that
well.
Now you have it.
I've spent thousands of dollars on loot
Yeah,
boxes
you
over the years,
have.
for sure.
I've spent
doubt.
too much money.
I am well aware of my own addictive personality, and so as soon as I remember when Overwatch came out, and I'm like, I'll just buy 50 of them just once. And as soon as I finished opening them, I'm like, maybe another 50. No,
I didn't get
that
the one.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't get that one, Tracer skin that you wanted. So then you're like, oh, I guess I'll have to spend another $12.95 for 5 boxes.
Yeah.
And then they get all grey or blue, not even
Why
gold
didn't I
one.
get the
You're like,
Neds
damn
and
it.
Yada one?
They do the same thing. Apex Legends, all the
Yeah.
big online massive multiplayer games also have very similar things. World of Warcraft, so
Why
on.
wouldn't you? It's free money. It's free real estate.
Free money. Kind of.
League of Legends didn't always have it, but they have, not exactly, but
They have a
similar thing.
weird
Yeah.
shop and process with. I don't
I think
understand
it's
that.
because they
That's another topic.
started changing it.
We will save that for the next segment. We will save League of Legends for later.
for another day or another segment.
Another segment. Yeah, that's true. Scarlet Hood and the Wicked Wood. Yeah, that's coming out
You like it?
tomorrow, so 8th of April from now.
You getting it?
I don't know if I'm getting it, but I would like to play it.
How are you going to play it if you don't get it?
I know. It's just-
That's how
I spent all my money on loot boxes. That's why. Yeah, well, that's my
In that
troubles.
life.
What about April Fools? You guys fall for any of the
No, because
Sneaky games.
any news that comes out
Tricks.
now, I'm just like, on April, I'm just like, no.
Not April 1st, the whole
Not
of
on April 1st. April 1st, April 2nd, you just kind of go, yeah, I'm just going to wait. We'll just wait and see if it's confirmed in 3 days.
That's fair, that's smart.
But I do love how Paul's made that huge list.
Yes. If you go to the Zed Games Facebook page at ZEDGamesAU, you can take a look now. I'm pretty sure Paul has been curating this massive list of all the April Fool's stuff coming out from game developers and games designers and stuff about just a whole heap of gimmicks.
Of love.
It's fantastic. It is a labor of love.
Yep.
Please go take a look. I haven't fully looked at everything yet, so not even I know what kind of surprise mechanics will be in there.
Oh.
This episode is trash.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Well, to break up the trash, I think we should listen to some very lovely... I want to clarify that the music isn't trash. I like this music.
Oh, yeah. Well, you
Oh,
curated the
you curated
playlist
this.
tonight.
Got
It's your
good
choice.
jams.
Yeah.
I've been playing... The first song here is from a game I've been playing recently. Genesis Noir. Just came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Is it good?
It's very good.
Oh, God.
And I would like to...
I look forward to the review.
You will get a review. Yes. Very much.
I'm just like, I would better get a review.
We're not here to talk about good games.
Oh, no.
Oh.
We're here to talk about, well, it could be a good game, but we're here to talk about games that are kind of broken.
I like you trying to be really nice
Yep.
to these games,
I
but
want to be nice to them.
No.
well, we do love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point.
They're just trash.
Yeah.
Like this whole episode today is about trash.
Oh, that was close to home.
Yeah.
So this topic of discussion has been in my mind recently because
And?
I picked up playing Dead by Daylight again.
Ah.
I don't know if either of you have ever played
That's
Dead
right.
by Daylight.
I remember now.
Yes, this conversation was pre-had. What about Dead by Daylight? Do you love?
Yeah, let's go with what you love first.
It's really fun. It's a multiplayer game that I can play with my friends, or it's fun enough to play like on its own with people. It doesn't have any voice chat, so actually it doesn't have any chat. So there's no one yelling at me.
Okay. Well, that's
is
always
fun.
nice.
Yeah. There's no trash talk.
Yeah. And for the most part, people like are fun. It's a fun community of people to play.
As much fun as you can have with a survival horror game.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly a lot.
Thanks for playing a wonderful game.
Bang.
Bang.
Yeah.
I really love being hung up on a hook.
I do. I love. See, that's
does
what makes it
trash.
special, actually.
Yeah.
Because you think you're gonna get hung up on a hook,
Yep.
but instead you're suspended in mid-air
Oh.
on nothing.
What?
Well, the game doesn't function very well.
How long has it been out?
Years.
Oh, God.
It came out in 2016, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's one of
I-
those
So
ones.
it's been out for 5
I
years.
started playing when it came out,
Yep.
and I was waiting for it to come out for several months beforehand.
Yeah,
was
no, I
excited.
remember the hype on that one. I
Yeah.
really wanted to. Loved the idea. It was freaking me out. I wanted to be freaked out by friends.
Oh yeah, I had nightmares when I first played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So why would you consider a trash game that you love though? Is it purely because
Because when you're playing the game, the sort of community that came out of it and the jokes and the way you play aren't in spite of the glitches.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
They incorporate it.
So it's like it adds character.
yeah, it adds a lot of character.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a nice way of saying like if you meet a person that you don't like them at all, but you're trying to find ways to complement their
I think that's what this
personality.
entire segment's going to be about.
much.
What about you, Easy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my game that I love playing that's kind of trash is League of Legends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry for you.
I mean, look, Maylee and I both play League of Legends, and
Don't
we've played
tell
together.
anyone.
Pardon?
Don't tell them.
Yeah,
this
we
dirty
tell them.
secret. It's
Yeah, it's
uncovered
out there
now.
now.
Everybody knows.
I do.
Everybody
I
knows.
play League of Legends.
Yeah, 90% of Brisbane now know.
Yep.
Good thing they don't know our face. We're safe.
Message us on Facebook and you can join in.
Yeah, that's right. No, definitely not.
No.
I
Oh
will
yeah,
not give you my
no.
anyway.
Do not play games.
Do not
Do
play
do not
League
play
of
those kind of games with us because we don't like to swear.
I was going to say, wait, I thought you were about to say we don't like you. Just like, wow.
No,
We
no,
love you.
No.
4ZZZ listeners. And
Yes.
anyone listening on the podcast or CRM. We love all of you. If you're playing games, we love
God.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
But I have to say, look, League of Legends is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Not because the game concept in of itself isn't fantastic. Not because it's not like in a lot of ways a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Just that for a game so big, for a game that makes billions of dollars, it can't get the launcher right, and like there's just bugs that are just. How have you not solved these issues, like more regularly? Like I just don't understand. There's just things that glitch out and happen that just doesn't even make any sense. Just like before you even enter the game. So there's like a launcher that you have to open up with League of Legends for anyone who doesn't know. You're in that launcher. It's a tiny little screen that sort of runs. It can kind of run in the background, and then when your queue pops, you can go, yes, I want to confirm and join the game. That's where all the glitches come in. It's like you haven't even loaded into the game itself yet, and for some reason that's
you're
where
not
all the
getting
irritation comes from for me.
glitches in the game.
Yes. Also, it's really hard to start out in League of Legends. There's no real decent tutorial. Like, there's no way in unless you already know someone in.
Not to mention the great toxicity that is League
Oh,
of
it is
Legends.
extremely toxic. The good thing there's a / mute all function. And then you don't have
If
to
you
worry
haven't
about
found
that.
it,
If you haven't found it, I just told you what to type.
type it in now.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know if there's any other game. I don't know of any other game than League of Legends that has in the loading screen a warning. Not a warning. It has several of them, but one of them is like, remember to take deep breaths if you get bothered
I
by
know.
other players,
Oh no, not yet.
and
No.
beware of getting
Remember,
tilted.
punching
And
your screen won't actually hit other players.
That's just me playing with friends. What are you
it's
talking
that
about?
bad of a game that they need
Yeah,
to.
there's a lot of people get tilted very easily, and people can become very toxic.
And I get it. Having played League of Legends, something about it
Having
makes
playing
you
a game that's
frustrated.
really challenging with other people, and your victory depends on other people playing well, can result in a lot of toxic behavior. And
because it's always their fault.
It's always their fault.
They're just bad at games,
That's
and
it.
I'm
Okay.
amazing.
I'm gonna-
What about you?
Yeah, I'm just going to pull away from this toxic sludge of a conversation
Smart.
about that
trash
wonderful,
talk
wonderful
over here.
game. I've got a few. I've got one of my huge favorite games was Anthem, and
Oh yeah.
it was wonderful. I really loved the characters. I had a computer that could actually run it. I bought an SD card so I could actually play it. It needed that loading screen, otherwise you were just stuck on continual loading screens forever and ever and ever and a day. But as soon as I managed to get past that wonderful technical hurdle, that game was beautiful. The movement was great. The actual, everything when it comes down to the flying, the feeling of the game, the combat felt good. There was great. It wasn't a huge learning curve or anything, but I loved that game, except for the end. And that end game was horrible.
What's wrong with the end?
The end game was, hey, just collected all these things. Hey, here's a hard mode. Don't do it all again. Just here's something harder, and go and play with your friends. What?
Right.
And you'll get better loot. But I've already got the loot I like. I don't want new loot. Oh, but these things are harder, so you'll need better loot. That is the entirety of the end game, and that
That
was
sounds
death.
fulfilling.
That was not fulfilling. Everything else about it was great.
It's funny that you say that though, because Anthem actually has very poor reviews, and it did not go well. Actually, if anyone doesn't know or missed out on the announcement previously on the show, Anthem 2.0 was a thing. It's not a thing anymore. They actually closed the studio down. They're no longer making that because Anthem just did so poorly. It got 6.5 out of 10 by IGN, 54% from Metacritic, and 2.9 from just Google users.
Yeah, no, it's
2.9 out of 5.
literally
It's
people
really
complain about
bad.
the story, which I'm like,
It
you
didn't
take
do so
you
good.
get what you take, you get what you put in. But if you just skip the storyline, then no, you're not really going to enjoy the game. You're going to enjoy because you're just shooting for the end game, and the end game isn't where it was. But that was that. Euro Truck Simulator.
What?
In VR.
Oh.
What?
Yep.
Euro Truck?
No, it is actually a really good game, and I loved it, and I loved that. And a lot of people really love the game, but it is glitchy as hell.
Yeah.
But that's... I think it might have a similar effect as Dead by Daylight. A game can be glitchy, especially an online game that you can play with other people, if those glitches don't necessarily stop you from playing. They can be really funny and amusing and add to the experience.
Add character.
Yeah.
They add character.
I definitely watched videos of people crashing into each other in Euro Truck Simulator multiplayer.
Yeah, that would be beautiful.
Yeah. And
Beautiful games.
Yes.
I am Maylee. You're listening to Zed Games, and we've got a review for you now. It's from Zahra, but they aren't in studio right now. It will be a beautiful review about Trashed, which may or may not be trash. I don't know if it is trash. I'm getting weird looks. It's a game called Trash. It probably isn't trash. Let's hear what Zahra has to say.
Garbage disposal and management is a problem that has plagued us for years, and it continues to be a problem far in the future on a planet far, far away. Hundreds of ships dump their rubbish on some far-off desert planet, leaving bags of waste, plastic lawn chairs, and who knows what else. And you, the newest hire, are tasked with solving this eternal problem: how to make all this trash go away. Trashed is a strategy game about garbage management disposal. With a chunky 3D art style, your long flowing blue hair, and more than a few guns under your belt to take care of some problems you might run into, this is definitely a game meant to challenge you, and maybe overwhelm you, just a bit. So the main goal of Trashed is to dispose of garbage and manage the waste and pollution it causes. A ship will come by about once every minute, or an in-game hour, to dump rubbish at a marked site. This can very quickly develop into a gigantic pile, with garbage bags just rolling all over the place. You need to move that garbage into an incinerator. You have a helpful robot that manages to push some bits of trash into an incinerator, and you can pick up a piece of garbage and toss it in yourself. But you will not be able to keep up, and each bit of rubbish burnt will affect air quality. Thankfully, you have more than a few tools to help you out. As you earn money, you can buy a garbage blower to move several pieces of rubbish, and blueprints to build more incinerators, air purifiers, solar panels, batteries, recycling machines, grinders for the giant pieces of garbage that will get thrown onto your head by yet another ship, and more, including conveyor belts, which quickly became my favourite thing in the game. In addition, you progress by picking up bounties from the office, requiring you to process a certain amount of rubbish or to kill some of the local creatures who will rock up to cause some trouble. Of course, you can purchase various weapons to help you. It's addictive. It's satisfying to optimize your dump site, to set it up so you only need to worry about some wayward rubbish. There are cutscenes with voice characters. For some reason, they're all from Texas. I named my helpful robot Marvin. I love him. He gets stuck sometimes, but he's doing his best. The music is pretty minimal, and there is a lot of silence in the game. The creatures I run into make some weird alien-like sounds that make me a bit nervous to hear. The sound of the ship arriving is overwhelming, and I'm glad to hear it go, mostly so it stops making a mess of things. It's really satisfying hearing the constant sound of garbage being recycled and burnt. It tells me things are working. More music would be nice, but I find myself zoning out a lot, so I'm not too bothered. There is one thing to note, however. This game is in early access, and at the time of writing this review, is in pre-alpha. There are a lot of bugs. There is only a portion of the planned content in the game, and I wasn't able to actually finish the tutorial. My playthrough could be described as playtesting. This is not a finished product, but the content it already has, and the gameplay so far, is enjoyable. When I get past some of the worst bugs, and I get used to the rough controls, I find myself playing for hours. I had a playthrough where the bounties glitched out, so I couldn't progress through the game, but it had so many conveyor belts, and you have never imagined air could be so clean. I am looking forward to seeing this game continue to develop, and to revisit over time, and I can't wait until the team goes, yep, that's a finished game, because my heart needed a garbage management game that takes place on an alien planet. Trashed is developed by Josh Prosason and is available on Steam on early access, with a planned final release in early 2022.
I'm Maylee for Zed Games, here with
Easy.
And Turby.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. We've had an exciting time in the studio today. I hope you've had an exciting time listening.
That was trash.
It was trash.
It was a trashy episode.
Yeah.
But
How can we make it trashier?
It could be.
I need to go and get a bin.
I thought you better say beer. I'm like, okay.
No.
That's a different kind of trash. Actually, if there's anything that you missed from the show tonight, and you're just tuning in now, you could head over to the Zed Games Facebook page at ZEDGamesAU, and you can have a listen to us there, because, we put our podcasts up every week, and we also have our news and reviews and written formats, so you can take a look and share. And
it's a labor of love.
it is a labor of love. Also, the unbelievable amount of memes that I post on that
Oh,
Facebook
God,
page
yes.
is fantastic. And my policy with memes is if anyone, wait, no, hold on, I'm getting this wrong. I don't even know my own motto now. Everyone has to laugh for the meme to work, in my opinion. So there's no joke that picks on any particular individual or type of person who likes particular types of games. It's a joke that everyone can laugh with. It's a meme that everyone should be able to relate to.
Inclusive
So
Yes.
if you get one unhappy face, it's gone.
It's gone. It's deleted. They're all memes that are family friendly and, for everyone.
Follow us on Facebook.
Yeah, do that. ZED Games AU. Plug,
Love
plug,
it.
plug, plug, plug.
I think we will have to head
Shill,
off
shill, shill.
for the evening.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See you.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.